Okay, so after separating or deciding to walk away from my spiritual spouse and meeting a new divine masculine who was a divine soulmate, which did not, I was not certain that I was going to meet another divine masculine nor a divine soulmate, but I took a chance and I jumped out on faith because I knew that what my spiritual spouse had going on was not for me. That I knew what my spiritual spouse had going on was not for me. That was not my portion. I wasn't going to be involved. And what I saw, and he didn't give me any clarity, so I took it as he was stuck. That's how I looked at it, and I looked at it like that's not nothing I want to be involved in. And plus, I'm not sitting around waiting for somebody to talk to me that has shut down. Basically, like he was doing a lot energetically, but in the physical, it was crickets. So I was like, I'm not doing this. So after waiting 2 months, I was like, okay, let me see, and attracted another divine masculine who was a divine soulmate. So me and my divine soulmate, um, it was interesting, our connection. It was very strong. It was very childlike, like a little puppy love type situation. But I did see an issue with him not knowing relationship etiquette. Like, he didn't act like he had been in a serious relationship before, and if he has, he hasn't been in like one with a woman that is serious. At least not as serious as me. But he and I really didn't last long, and not necessarily because of that. So the first month of January, we saw each other about 4 times. We were able to spend time with each other. Everything was cool. I'm like, okay, my spiritual spouse. I still could feel him. He still, was all up in my energy and stuff. But I was kind of like distracted with my new soulmate that I had crossed paths with. So it wasn't too bad, but I still could feel him. So when we were dealing with each other, like for the first month, I was open about being in a new connection. Like I was very vocal about it. I didn't blatantly say who it was, but I would talk about on Facebook. Like I didn't hide anything. Unlike him, he was hiding and wasn't talking about what he had going on in his life. That wasn't showing anyone on his Facebook page or wasn't talking about nothing. But I wasn't hiding anything. I have no reason to hide or lie. So I was very open about being in a new connection. And he was watching. Of course, he was watching my page or whatever. So that hurt him, and I could feel that hurt. I felt hurt from the time that I decided to really, I felt hurt from the time I found out about, what he had going on. I felt his hurt and his pain, and that didn't stop. But I also was very vocal about my new connection because, first of all, I didn't want to lie. I didn't want to be acting like I'm sneaking around because I was free. I walked away. So in my mind, I'm done. So karmically, I'm good. Like I'm not sneaking and lying and hiding and scheming and plotting. And second of all, I was trying to get him to let me go because obviously me being intimate with my new soulmate didn't sever the energetic cord. So I was like, okay, me being open might get him to let me go. I wouldn't be able to feel him anymore. Like he would go ahead and move on with his life, but he wouldn't. So I can admit that I was like very vocal and it was hurtful. I'm pretty sure it hurt him for me to be talking the way I'm talking and openly saying stuff. Like I was very vocal about how I felt about him. I was vocal about my new relationship. Like I was very vocal, which I know hurt him most likely. I felt it or whatever, but it didn't stop me from being vocal. I wanted him to let me go. So the whole month of January, me and my new soulmate spent together. So one night in January, it was what was it? It was February 1st. February 1st, my soulmate had came over and we had fun. We had a time, and I posted on Facebook Janet Jackson song "Funny How Time Flies" because we had fun. I was like kind of blissful. We had a ball. So I posted the song Janet Jackson "Funny How Time Flies" February 1st of 2024. That was the last time I saw my soulmate for a long time. So after February 1st, when I posted that song, like I had so much fun and it was funny how time flies. Like every time he was supposed to come over, something came up. And I would get mad at him, like, what's going on? Every time he was supposed to come over, he would not comment. I'm like, I'm not feeling this. So I would fuss at him, like I would get mad. And this went on for the whole month of February. So towards like the middle or end of February, I'm like, do you think that you're blocked from me? Like that crossed my mind, like he must be blocked from me because he would have came over here by now. Like, and he was like, no, I don't think so. No, no. And I was like, okay. So On February, this was leap year, so February 29th, 2024, me and him was texting each other on the phone. And mind you, Valentine's Day had went by and he didn't we didn't see each other, you know what I'm saying? Like he probably wouldn't have made it over here anyway, or wouldn't have made it come pick me up. He said that he had something planned or he wanted to do something with me, but he had pissed me off again about the relationship etiquette thing. He posted something totally inappropriate on Facebook that pissed me off. So I was like, fuck you and Valentine's Day. But that's a whole nother thing. Our little connection was kind of toxic. He was very loving, but he had issues with relationship etiquette that I just couldn't overlook. And then on top of that, he wasn't able to come and see me the whole month of February. So that was another thing that made it hard for me to be able to feel comfortable and secure in that connection. But once February 29th hit, me and him were texting lovey dovey stuff back and forth or whatever. It was a cool little night. Went to sleep. I go to sleep now. I hadn't had a dream in forever. Like I had had a dream in forever. Like I can't remember the last time I had a dream really since my awakening. But I just so happened to go to sleep and I have a dream with my spiritual spouse. When I had the dream about my spiritual spouse, I was like, we were like in a room, like an open room. So say it was like a living room or something, and we were just chilling. Like I was like laying or like relaxing, stretched out on like a sofa, and he was next to me or he was in the same room talking to me, and his kids were in the room. Somebody had like took his kids, like say a nanny or something, or somebody had took his kids out of the room and they went like down the stairs or something. And he started talking to me saying he wanted us to be like Sierra and Russell Wilson. And he also said to me, like, I thought that basically he thought that I couldn't have any more children. Before we crossed paths on my journey, he thought I couldn't have any more children or something like that. And he was like very relaxed. I was very relaxed. Like I was so calm and relaxed. And he was like smiling, like he looked so happy and to see me like comfortable, like smirking and just happy and relaxed and whatever. So next thing I know, my spiritual spouse in the dream state, he started like playing down there. And I was like, that's what like woke me up out the dream. Like, what the fuck? Like, what is going on? I woke up out the dream. So when I woke up out of the dream, I couldn't feel my soulmate anymore. My divine soulmate. It was like, so I woke up out the dream probably about 3 o'clock in the morning, went back to sleep, and my divine soulmate called me on Facebook Messenger now. We hadn't talked on Facebook Messenger since we first met each other. Like, so he woke up around 7 a.m. and we never talked at 7 a.m. He might send me a text message later, maybe 10, 11 a.m. But he woke up 7 a.m. calling me on Facebook Messenger. I'm like, he must can't feel me either. So he called and hung up. And I texted him and he texted me and I was like, he didn't say anything, but I could tell that him waking up at 7 a.m., calling me on Facebook Messenger where he had my phone number. He never called me there since the first day we talked, basically. And, you know, I could tell he was frantic. That wasn't like his normal thing, our normal thing to do. So when we texted, I was like, I can't feel you anymore. And he basically said the same thing, but he didn't want to sound crazy because we didn't really talk about stuff too much, but we knew what was up, you know what I'm saying? But that was like within our first month of being connected. We knew that we were soulmates. We knew that we could do some things together. Like we could do some things. But we didn't really talk too much about it. But yeah, I had told him because when me and him first started talking, I told him up front that I had somebody that won't let me go. So I let him know up front. That's another thing karmically. Like if you're going to deal with somebody and you have something like that going on, you have to tell them up front so that they can know. Like you can't deal with nobody and have them blind in the situation. So I definitely told him up front and he was okay with it. So yeah, he was very upset and I was very upset when it happened. And then the day that my spiritual spouse chose to do it on, like you could tell he like really waited until leap day to do it. So that leap year 2024 will forever be embedded in my mind. Like it'll be a memory that I will not forget. And there were signs that he was like around or he was still, there were signs that he was going to potentially do something, because a couple of days before the dream, I was laying in bed on my sides. I was laying on my left side in the bed facing this way. And he kept pushing, I kept feeling I kept being pushed to my back. So from my side to my back, I kept feeling like somebody was like pushing me. So I would fall back and then roll back over, fall back. And I was thinking it was my soulmate. I was getting pissed, but he not aggressive like that with me. So I was like, what is going on? So I started getting mad. Every time I roll back on my side, I get pushed back to my back, you know. That was my spiritual spouse, you know. And another time my soulmate had left my house to drive home. It was like probably like 4 o'clock in the morning. He drove home and a big ass tree branch fell on his damn car and busted his damn windshield. Like his windshield was like done for when he was riding home. So that was another sign. I'm like, okay, he's watching and he's pissed. You know what I'm saying? He was pissed that I left, pretty much. And he was pissed that I was talking about it on Facebook. He was just highly upset. And I don't even think he was so much upset with me. He was upset with the fact that another man had touched me. He was upset with the fact that another man, you know, had been around me and all that kind of stuff. Because once I had that dream and I woke up and saw that the cord between my soulmate and I was severed, that's when I started getting telepathic communication with him. So I was totally devastated. I'm in the bed crying, and he like, ain't nobody tell you to sleep with him. I heard that, you know, him telepathically tell me that he shouldn't have touched my wife. You know, like he didn't care that I was hurt. He didn't care that I was crying. He didn't care about none of it. You know, so my soulmate was like, I told him what was going on. I told him like basically I gave him the gist of like when I left how he, you know, was very upset and hurt and I could feel him and stuff like that. My soulmate was like, look, I don't like how this sound. I don't like nothing about it. Like you go ahead and figure that out. But he was saying for me to figure it out and for me to come back to him. But it wasn't that simple because I couldn't just go back to him. I intuitively knew that because my spiritual spouse cut the cord, that he still had me in his possession. So I knew that I could not go back to my soulmate. My spiritual spouse pretty much pulled a Maxine Waters on my ass and decided he wanted to reclaim his time.
What he failed to tell you was when you're on my time, I can reclaim it.
House
Reclaiming my
Intel Committee
time,
with the
reclaiming my
Senate
time,
Judiciary
reclaiming my
Committee.
time,
Okay.
reclaiming
Matter of
my
fact,
time,
and the rules because I thought I was allowed to answer questions.
reclaiming my time. Would you please explain the rules and do not take that away from my time?
So I could not go back to my soulmate. Like he could have let me go and I could have been free, but because our cycle was not totally complete, he had the right to reclaim his time with me and finish out the cycle. So my soulmate kept coming back to me and, you know, basically trying to see like, are we still together? Are you still, you know, my girl or whatever like that? And I'm like, how am I going to do that? And if I can't see you, I hadn't seen him all of February. And then come the last day of February, the cord cut. I'm like, no, I had to see what's going on over here before we can do anything because this, like, I had to see what was going on with my spiritual spouse and figure that out. So I told him, I was like, at least let me see what he has to say. Because, you know, once I found out about what he had going on, he went silent. So I'm like, well, him doing all of this, you know, blocking him from me for the whole month of February and then cutting the cord. I'm like, he must is gonna come back and say something. He must, you know, is gonna step up and, you know, he's ready to, you know, start our union or something. Like I'm like, let me wait and see what he has to say. You know, at least I can do that much because we do have like a strong connection, a powerful bond. We have a lot of love between each other. So let me see what he's gonna do. So my soulmate was hurt. He was really, really, really hurt. And I was like, every time I would talk to him, like he would message me or send me songs and stuff. Like one time he sent me the Jaheim song, Guess Who Loves You More? And I bawled. Like if I talked to him, he texted me, I would cry. Like I was like, oh my God. Like I felt his hurt too. He was hurt. He was hurt about that. And so was I.